Enti masanswaba ahaya all sport GHL YouTube nyamiatom ye won kom dia na was say bon komo latest sports stories about. Of course you know said this is your usual back to back latest sports updates. Me be na me hwehwehwehwe ni mama hu say Barcelona mo mane bobo na the entire important to me is because afinya or say game no asia ono so ehwe game ni bi enti afinya so ehwe Barcelona for my is omo bobo them hey senior man over and then Juan Martinez if you do remember this guy I mean kai mo kakra Real Madrid akwada no mo mu gidie se ball no bebo and okonya ACL onimpo ansana Raul Asensio kredi eba won say on ho turn no won kwada ni mu and Jabi Alonso man kwan e man be training with the senior team because most of them echo international break into Jabi Alonso e man kwan not said there are clear plans and so Edman Jabi Alonso best start say I'm an rare team ni mu ye pa in fact Jabi Alonso so boy no relax what's our plan and so Edman bad 13 days in ye if I'm right I had you because and I don't say Joe Busquets I can say football no or the AC and then you na for swaba meaning and say Hodi Alba as on so football no the obey na why you no so areta for football in time say 2 weeks less than 2 weeks say Joe Busquets areta and say Hodi Alba so retire 793 games. 793 games. And of course, we could have goal involvement of 217 goal involvements. And that's like 60 goals. Sorry, 157 assists. 60 goals, 157 assists. Of course, wajeji genuinely be pray. And ya fe na ye be call no ajiwe. I mean, yenimre Spanish La Liga wajia fine. So wajibe 6 Champions League wajibi Eurosi wajibi. Ente say hodi abanunu na Lionel Messi onko nyina ejeja hwe anya me wanwa. Afa na me ya tenye me bia so kai say. Here story catch us say Sergi Region or a free agent former Madrid former Tottenham Hotspur or be Manchester United kakra loan we betray mu koy or tifie and a story samate say Inter Miami for na kasa. Now this makes sense. Nature say na eshisho mo ho nom nim say hold ya baba berita and into no money Sergi Region krakasa. Me no ka say Sergi Region our office was Saudi Arabia. Sika de man on yes was so crashing the Inter Milan for the man, but it is what it is. Sergi Region so uncle Saudi Arabia no. Ball Inter Miami. Of course, he wants to play with Lionel Andres Messi. And now it makes a lot of sense. Afena and Siaba because now one was I don't go for it. Well, Lionel Messi at the statement Abano Ababeda Hodi Abbas. Thank you, Hodi. I will miss you so much. After everything we've been through together, it feels strange to look to my left and not to see you there. What a crazy number of assists you've given me over these years. Who is going to give me those back passes now? And say Lionel Messi and so statement on also at the bar wada hodi abasi pa. Anyway, let's move on now. Yambon komo for kakra. One say Matteo Alemani and a breaking story no. Bear me last by 3 or 4 video breaking story and say quite Atletico Madrid contractor or signing my means I'm breaking from out 1.5 years into 1.5 year contract and was signing and so Eddie Ama Atletico Madrid and of course a best sports director but Penifona Catens on the team nechi omutu tu kwanya on experience no so what's me ye pa into me pamcho. That is the deal with regard to Papa and Matthew Alemani. Harry Maguire, if you do remember, last 5 years, Okonya issues be with Greece. Oni post ni be kokunto akabi issues be allegedly. Na insansawno say obadwin sa akwada. So, bronia some dey 10 years to cry Rebecca. Nyame antoma Wednesday morning. Asam no mu bie so e court on be start aka asam no. Ay you 5 years asabo. Enti no asam no omo ba beka na yese Harry Maguire obetimi akobi anase opeso so onko na obetimi atena ball no ama no lawyers no so akogine mu enso e de ama no nti ono option but matter say possible say obema no lawyers ni mom na akogina asebrum na fei omaka asam na ma edrumre bi na e wo so oba and of course ono so ebetimi aba what kai some catch us Manchester United for likely some meko Saudi Arabia akobo friendly game and I say possibly crowd ebia Ronaldo bebo say Saudi need the beba so name 3 possible options and I'm there to Manchester United in him. So okay, let me go and dig deep. Now me go share options so crow. Yes, the first option on the ball Riyadh seasonal cap on the Manchester United ebe bobi. It's possible say ebia man you bet me share El Nassr announce El Hilal depending on draw no mo no. Na Manchester United ebe ba game bia no on Manchester United £5 million. Game bia £5 million. Afei soje trophy ni so a omo de Manchester United. Second option, but just a friendly match between Manchester United and Saudi Arabia All Stars. And also our game, Manchester United £5 million cash down. Afei, there's another option, say, El Nassr. What's I say? El Nassr and also see a 5 million. Benono Crano, Yebesan so Amoma visited the royal family for no. And see 3 options and I'm there to Manchester United. And of course, United want to go to Saudi Arabia. Sikadi what has a kojekakra. Inti a dependent, I don't know what Manchester United intends to do. And the say penny for no bad says honestly, the first option possibly so almost share on first game possible so maybe 2 games which if they win all gives them around 10 million very dependence on Manchester United. Of course, once they take a decision, we are here. The story near back at the actual. Yes, so called the Spanish La Liga. So far, games are yabo teams are concede chances pa. Or ma concede chances pa. So far, from top boy, or mom concede chances cry. Hey, let's go Bilbao. Oma consider just 12 chances. Alaves 12, Elche 14, Atletico Madrid 14. Yanhwe Shankes for no. Okay. Atletico Madrid 14, Real Betis, Oviedo, Osasuna, Espanyol, Getafe, Real Madrid. I consider 18 chances. Real Sociedad, I consider 19. Yambre Bionne baby Barcelona da. Barcelona the last but 4. Oma consider 21 big chances. Inti na say Barcelona chances no omu consider pa what I say 21 omu just so omu consider pa 18 that difference no so dey be huhu bia sa o hey Christian Nogard Arsenal for midfielder Nogard enom ko bi san say you free Arsenal obekwan and say to be very honest onye sure say obekwa club kese bi after Arsenal also we isan say ne swadi hunu so person go back to the fie kobo Bromby bio and sana wa retire inti opeso owie ni contract no wa Arsenal na okonichi Bromby wo na okotoa so ewo na fe wa retire crowd from there. That is initially the plan. Germany national team it was for Jamie Lewelin yes we pra inti coach Julian Nagelsmann atonsa edia from Africa Kevin Shadi Bowie Brentford for striker no so also ever joining the national team inti uja for atona live so papa make national team in some no Kylian Mbappe and that's also when training or say boys ni training no we and or signing autographs edema supporters na kakra na no winter come on. Minye sure say he would want to play against Azerbaijan. Master, ono kro rush ko body send ono asam. I just say because clearly you are no okay and you are no okay. Ko prepare na ko ba. Already na asam akoba. Argentina player ye friend Matias Sula. Ni agent ye friend Martin. Na Martin asam akokan die. Ose boy no, omo friend the national team o ye adwuma ye pa, okunu ho bobo pa. Na we hu say na kwada na ye one of those few players omunya kwan You're from national team. 1 minute in po ye more mumbo. But I said I quite an obobo or training very well. Say na one say coach, 1 minute in po my boy in Bobi. Or say, or Kai almost say, Sa Matia Solano, or ye Argentina ni essence ye Italy ni, or Bomon Kaye, or ye Argentina ni essence ye Italy ni. Kabum. What I say, ain't he say, or says Argentina for name man, but on him the base or chinebi, Ebiana, Italy for na babe faboy, and I'm say. Agent, you was all saying, just say, Waquadano, Obesoda no come Italian national team, nah. Because when young Kiki and also young boy 1 minute still no or eligible to play for Italy. Now, where sir, what are you telling the coach and his technical team, the rest of the players who can't send me the actual more? Hey, agent, if we be more hard you, I'm hard brutal. Well, and twas way, Tarek George. Martin said, "Yeke corner dear boy, no one can stand what fun what you him say in the Chelsea minutes, and ya dear befa wings way cry man in bow one or no more could force nine so you know how obre ain't it? Yes, boy, no, when it's room saying Yamia to my January dear. Be free club with Marco make January in 7 and also story say a piano Chelsea a market in Marco Five Santa back at the about January and as a goalkeeper. Well, I'm being told it's a Chelsea plans be for January and yeah center back among your margins or Mutobi. Just a be because be a December movie be the about January. Yes, sir, for now Chelsea need plans of signing a goalkeeper and as a center back possibly and no a better summer signings. Well, yes, Manchester United hierarchy. Through Omar Berada, any Jason Walcott. Now saying about say place ni be aso mu about coach Ruben Amorim Yasinko for me anyway. FH the place you know more din come say mu okay. Munu coach didn't tell me to say mu okay. Yes, the conclusion about and say lots of the place, majority of the place epe coach na niema all year into no. Mfu say no alarm mo asha that to some do Manchester United so say issues or no no issues be any because of many players that didn't come I'm a place na show mo boss omo gidie e wo Ruben Amorim. Now the question you would want to ask and say player ben e benya kukudro akachre oh my barada say many coach no issue. How many of the players will do that? Anyway, so that is the story. And also, and then we say Wesley Fofana were training at Chelsea. On international break in one Kobe. Until we training Mami Crano, me watch Chelsea, Mami Grom na me fa injury updates and from bro. Reece James, and of course after international break, we expecting say Obeba no Abebo into Reece James the international break now. Oba Bisia kind. Kopama so no groin issue no. Matter say Obeba a late of October. Sana metiti late of October. Tosin Adarabia yo near a calf injury. Or no so matter say a after international break in Obeba. Wesley Fofana so no was starting just like I told you. Benia Bediasel on also the NDA and Charanye issue bia he is back. Josh Champon so yes just a knock. And of course he's okay right after the international break. Obabe Bobo. Andre Santos and also some muscular issues, after international break Obabe Bobo. Liam Delap the na penny for say omuntimi nchire e dapote boy no hometi me aton. Darren Isugo ne tie issue no no. Yes say ono so de e be check kakra e bia December na say January. And Levi Colway de nyina yinim. Just say bia next season possibly. Na obey fully fit aba enti Chelsea mo injury update no and I'm want some so edi ama come anyway Charlie me na be catch us Manchester Rangers for omopam mo coach no ma contact Steven Gerrard na Manchester Steven Gerrard edwuma ne ni jo onyo be you feel say or unfinished business be e wo Rangers enti ohwe say e be a possibility bi wo ho a well, train Joel Paulinho says say Nenije, I will Tottenham was per year pause. I am enjoying my life. I will Tottenham was per say Tottenham am the chances are na enkane na sa chances na oni bi. What else? So sister say Nenije esan say nipa no mu ye adwuma no. Omama no confidence e ma ne ball. And essential for business asem ya okay. Na Tottenham for so because what can okay more buy munchin for and also last year English bebre ha no buy munchin afa so buy no onya ball ni bi say sometimes no ofili so deserve say ball no obobi so na ye man bimbo nti so okay enso e wo team a ye fa no Tottenham Hotspur na ye yati o yati mame Deco and the senior man Deco akoye interview no say wofa Frankie de Jong contract eche papa ade and also omo no the boy no have negotiations and the boy is a agent or so almost assistant agents no decide say rush kra contact boy ni bi jai my boy no assorting itself up because of say na boy na show mo boss be sign the contract no mo na mo echi na asem ye mo ehihye mo so na problem bi anyway what I say because already mienu nyina obi agi ne hodi intina asem bia eni ho nam si yo mate Liverpool for sporting director Penny Richard Hughes yes ofili Antoine Semenyo brutal enunti Semenyo na enyemo which Hughes say baby I know ye adwuma e bomb nti opo bi onim Antoine Semenyo pa say Richard Hughes. So I'm not surprised. Nyame atuma Real Madrid for bebo friendly match. Nyame atuma ochina say players na cage na one international break Jabi Alonso person mo bo friendly match e obare baba so na omoni omo Castilla na bebo. Nti Jabi Alonso versus Arbeloa game no be the brutal. And the Real Madrid senior team versus the Castilla. Gonna be very interesting game, And see game no ebenya baso of course a baso result be bia the one samedi baba make can stand ma me fa Real Madrid training ground so kakra. And see goalkeepers trainer Lopez and Andrew Linen and now into Luis Lopez and Andrew Lunin. And almost so and now kama and the account almost goalkeeper back Segi Mestri with tabo ni die pa na if I training no cost no Heoja for Rawa since you say opposite the camera is in some no status or Twitter pictures said they are fine. Now Jude Bellingham the nenia brew and some ketwa which means that Jude Bellingham pijad metals and some kets I just wish you said Hoberton and Tom na wa baby sia kind and you watch this. This is Fedi Valverde or no so pija metals no quite into boys snake cage in the looks like they are not joking. Share omania brutal and some ketwa and Onim say Fedi Valverde we training no and a supporters ni bi gina bonti no mo stop no to onim so all signing autographs e dia ma mo and a supporter ni bi sense na no go right back the net was saying supporters ni bi mo so hadwin o and also nani J pa will right back ho and one no we na or sign ye no tu no car Joshua Zexi me say the ujafo no ehun say ball no nya bi mo nti I say January say deal bi aba Joshua Zexi say obeko Sanseja United the starting season no him say so on starting pa obebo more minutes but I say the yes say offer bi ba na you okay and yes so dia only problem be what I say but say offer bi ba na you okay dia why not Alexander Pavlovich Bayern Munich defensive midfielder Germany national team midfielder and on say wo and the German national team head coach my relationship at say and also ono any coach Julian Nagelsmann omo kan ye pa or say papa no oye very cool just on sound so a funny guy on kasab e man sere just on no relate as any nua no into feel say on in term on the coach in term dey bia you okay and don't see and a Danny das or say German national team or so kuno at the money mine and then the coach and Sancho for we say oh cast up so cool no injury situation at the same na Pavlovich draft say I think a debut out injury in some hamisa or say a prebino pride and it tonsils now issues a chum into danger a style noir would the injuries esusu to the sa oh yes also yes ana e ato say e tonko fotim say bia or ye injury prone or say sam na central for e to be amoye ne de ne nji ho ye pakwa fu say enye necessary say and central for ni bi so yes well let's move on Facundo Buonanotte and on be san say o ba Chelsea yata say Enzo Fernandez or boa pa no say e no kre na nyo no kwa o say Enzo Fernandez Oba or no Buonanotte ene Ganacho ye pa say here Enzo Fernandez or a fantastic person or say here park no so the on kan wasem because obi any park no so there any park no so betimi aka was betimi aka Enzo wasem dey chain or so one of the great guys personal ne person anka say good yes by no so by the first person sending the message abra or signing the match Chelsea Enzo Fernandez man akwaba catches so here bibia omra ekwan bia so beboa amono netimi settle very well be so be enti o say oda Enzo enso ase papa dam ye yate enam so okay na woni Garnacho so stance e ten hu sem na mpa no so ono nim Garnacho da omo nyina free national team baako enti na downfo no enam moreover no so omo nyina ase omo age no around that period that age no enti no they are very good friends but so say problem be any wo enu nti eno tane Garnacho enso enam well Barcelona game amukobobo ewo Miami told say sika Barcelona fo benya 5 million euros 5 million euros and Barcelona for so ehwe ni mu se omso ebenya Ronnie Barsi ese ono na ohwe Pedri ewo TV so na obehwe Pedri se Pedri nie oni ne ye training no say hey akwa no oni ball ni bo brutal also who Pedri e real life and I appreciate se Pedri ampampa ball no ni bo panis we say goal aya we celebration bi na what we say from and also any series bi na ohwe also wa hwe sa enti no o hwe goal bi ano aya we na ya na ohwe no anti no de enso ajubilate sa am say ye master sa na tie Kingsley Coman and go bi san say offer na obai munchi na wo free ye ne amanfo say when free ho ye kra and I say na a complicated situation na nye say bai munchi for pamono and as a coach ne pamono and as a supporters na e pamono or say na nye so munyi na e pamono but na complicated or since some bebre ntimi nka but na mutual na wo so free bai munchi and obi san say uhu won say na obobo e di ama El Nasser was Saudi Arabia. They sound some for bebre na dwa say denti and we fi buy Munchen akọ Saudi Arabia. And also ono kra na mu kra no ananye won so bebobo Saudi Arabia. Can we na osre what I say. But I say football transfers there. Sa na eya na etie eno ye say ma Kingsley Coman enso eka Slotterbeck. Yay. Dortmund for player ma catch us a contract extension and some no adosu. Emma obia ya no mo the boy ne link different clubs muheni o say enya contract extension nti na ode hu atwitwi clubs and cases as we pay now they accord your contracts for because I am hearing Bayern Munich, I am hearing Real Madrid, I am hearing Manchester City. I'm saying na ketua 10 million in a Dortmund for so munchia o eno ne asam no into minimum the clubs now can also be willing to pay there. Well, let's see what will happen. Rodrigo Goes to say Carlo Ancelotti de biano ubisana some 100 times or be Carlo Ancelotti abaso 100 times say upobia wa boano etunufo o manetime develop a player or yet to say CA diana e no Carlo Ancelotti into our lot of respect Edema Carlo Ancelotti ye pa and no sama Rodrigo Goes enso economics ye yatia Deco say Barcelona etimi keep or mo keep players said o ma signing players intaya mo nya ho abotre na mo nkoto also they've been able to retain Fermin Lopez, Gavi, Pedri of course basically indirect way of saying Barcelona signing are key players you know in some of them you okay and we say inti number 9 no dabe na wo signing number 9 e dia ba Barcelona for because supporters no e complain sa number 10 number 9 and I say enye just about number 9 e betimi aba say Barcelona can even play without number 9 because your first 9 with football mo and I say kra no enye the right time to be discussing say Barcelona nkoto number 9 and Fambra e san say Ferran Torres ho a obetimi aba sa number 9 eno yen say mo Deco enso eka for now the Barcelona for table so with regard to transfers you know Maguire Crystal Palace for defender Julian Alvarez Atletico Madrid and a boy na no me be born di also yeah or the next Mexican Pedri, and as they call him the Mexican Pedri. Them say, hey, with this 16, Alberto Mora, with this 16 years, into no doing, and so actually Eddie Atua say, these are potentials of Barcelona for air show when you say, yo, yatia. Yes, Barcelona for say, a canoe now or operating revenues, you know. In fact, let me start with the revenue. Revenues jump by 39 million euros. What I say? Into revenues there. Into profits, honestly, say, check it, strike it average. And I say, Okay, let me have time and explain it. My next video, me explain because no, since me go through it one by one, and I'm teaching my friend here. Now I go confuse you. And see now, me find the right figures. No so emerald. Why? I'm have my next video. Me ba chesi ka seven ma some edi ama oye pa if it will affect the 1:1 or not. Anyway, road goal it don't come and say no copper trophy na moto abe. Are na want to aba for malami ma. Are because be any say lami yamal e bobo changes are doing. Incident no want to aba for man. And I say, Sabato no, ye to at the man quadana say, in quadana, ye to abadi amount, a bit boost to a mumura. And I say, Lami Amal, Ohiamura boosting the idea. Born or born a come into Ohiamura boosting the idea. It doesn't fast so be any so, say Lami Amamura boost. That be. I don't know this idea say, or to about Eddie Ama desire do send a bear, a bit boosty aquadano so sumora, and no this idea of a twabano, Eddie Ama desire do say, Hodiaba Waritai. This is the legendary Barcelona first 11. Omo Waritai Mascherano, Rakitic, Sergio Busquets, Gerard Piqué, Daniel Alves, Iniesta, and a Hodiaba. They say Aka 4. Aka Testegen, Aka Lionel Andres Messi, Aka Neymar, and Aka Waimbio Luis Suarez. Well, Barcelona for Camp Nou, they say the 30 year, chassis. So say, I to say first one on the work from and fifth year, second year, 30 year, this is 30 year, Omugusu, when you might year papa, and work has begun. A woman 30 year, and say the humanity. Basafunia Brumugusu, yeah. David Raya contract extension on the man on. And some rather and on what more of a contract extension because rather they made sure say almost seek somebody be ever can home nothing we feel comfortably and say wait about us now year pass. So I'm sure this is just maybe thank you what you say. Thank you almost so Eddie Mano because he's done very well for them. Anyway, my family is something you didn't see. Mess sound so bad for Freddie, bro. Bye bye.